Probably the most important international soccer match ever played was England versus Italy at Highbury. In typical London November weather, before 60,000 spectators, the two teams were presented to His Royal Highness Prince Arthur of Connaught. Hapgood, the English captain, started well. Winning the toss, he decided to defend the Gillespie Road goal. The Italians' colour was run down the field to the goal that they were to occupy.
Of the 10 internationals Highbury staged, England won 8 of them. Baseball, rugby and ladies' hockey matches also took place at the ground. But perhaps the most bizarre event was the filming of a movie in 1939.
How'd you like that, Mr. Allison?
Oh, very interesting indeed.
We're showing that all over the country.
Are you really? Oh, yes, there you go.
We desperately wanted to see this film, and in the war you couldn't. And eventually I caught up with it. And it's great fun.
Heavens, Eddie, what's this?
I haven't got a shirt.
I mean, it's the silliest sort of B-movie. And Leslie Banks is in it, who was a great star of the time. But he's just camping it up and enjoying himself. And they have this ridiculous passage where he's a very facetious senior police officer, and he's drilling his men in a chorus, wearing tutus, you know.
Ladies, ladies, these skirts weren't provided for you by nature. They are meant to enhance your beauty, to allure.
Many of the scenes were shot in the East Stand, with the dressing rooms and the marble halls providing the backdrop to the drama.
Well, one up, son.
Yippee!
The football action was filmed at Arsenal's game with Brentford in May 1939, in what turned out to be the club's last competitive home match before the war.
Look, what's the matter with Doyce?
By Jove, he does look bad.
The star of the show is George Allison, who was the Arsenal manager.
Please, what's happened to Mr. Doyce?
I'm sorry, young lady. I'm afraid he's dead.
He was a total natural, you know. He took to complete duck to water, and all his scenes, I thought, looked highly authentic.
The prestige of the Arsenal's at stake. I'm more keen to win this match than I am to win 90% of our games during the season.
Time for the boys to change, Mr. Allison.
Oh, OK, Tom. Well, carry on, boys. Get on.
Other broadcasting landmarks at Highbury included the first ever match covered on BBC Radio. Charlie Buchan scoring in a 1-1 draw against Sheffield United in 1927. While the first ever televised game took place 10 years later, between Arsenal and Arsenal reserves. And in the late 60s, the Gunners used modern technology to help assess tactics.
Radford right up there, can Gould get in a shot? Against the bar! A sign of the thoroughness at Arsenal. They have their home matches filmed privately so that they can dissect them afterwards.
Highbury's witnessed many historic moments in the club's history. The team have clinched the league title there on 5 occasions, starting in 1931, when they became the first southern side to win the league. Then in 1938, Cliff Bastin scored twice in a final day win over Bolton to crown Arsenal champions. But events of 1953 were the most dramatic of all. After a 3-2 win over Burnley, the commissionaires had to check other results on the telex machine before confirming Arsenal had won the league by 1/10 of a goal. It was a more straightforward affair in 1991. Everyone was in high spirits when they became champions on that occasion. And then in May 1998, the Gunners entertained Everton as Arsene Wenger looked for his first title.
To win the championship in '98 at home against Everton on the day, you know, it was just everything clicking.
That is the left-footed Petit to whip it across. And Arsenal are getting closer and closer. Even Arsene Wenger is on his feet.
I didn't have a season ticket then, and there was no way of me getting into the ground, and I somehow managed to procure a ticket through a friend of a friend of a friend. And I had a ticket for that game, sat on my own, behind a pillar. That was the deal. You have a ticket, but it's behind a pillar, and it really was just this. So the whole match was spent doing that. But that was a really exciting time to be there.
Overmars taking on Watson, and it's a goal! Mark Overmars makes it 2-0.
It was all there, and for me it was the first title, so I could convince people I could win, and it will remain forever something special that day.
Overmars, he's going to roar past Watson here. Wonderful, wonderful goal. The championship belongs to Arsenal.
Tony Adams against Everton. I mean, the game was won, the championship was won, but there was a poetry to that goal. Beautiful moment. Martin Tyler, would you believe it?
Now Bold. And it's Tony Adams put through by Steve Bold. Would you believe it? That sums it all up.
It was ecstatic, and when that went in, it was, yeah, and he had his hands up like that, and it was, in fact, I did a beautiful painting of that on someone's plaster cast.
I mean, what a way to end. Me chipping a ball to Tony Adams to volley one with his left foot in the top corner. I mean, it just doesn't happen. It was storybook stuff.
Sid Bold to pop it over the top, and there's Tony who just lashes it home. You can't imagine righty Thierry. No one could have finished it as beautifully as that, and it was just a wonderful moment for the man and for the club, and you know, everything I think we hold dear about Arsenal Football Club.
There have been so many special moments over the years, and everyone has their own Highbury high.
On a personal basis, the first game of the double season against Manchester United, which I think really set us up.
On by Kenny. Story has moved to the inside right position. Armstrong in the middle. Redford on his own. Kennedy going in. Redford! A hat-trick for John Redford. Graham going in.
We won 4-0, and for me, I had a very famous save at the feet of George Best, which I can carry with me to my dying days, knowing that he would normally have scored, but on one occasion I got away with it.
Manchester United got a man over for a change. Best! He was onside. Wilson beautifully taken. Never took his eye off the ball for a second. George Best trying to dummy him. Wilson didn't want to know.
I remember the game against Bolton, and I actually, when I scored the first goal, I think I took my shirt off too early, which could have been quite embarrassing, but I got another chance.
Bergkamp. On right, what a way to get it! He couldn't miss!
The easiest goal of all the goals I've scored for Arsenal, I think, and obviously the celebrations have gone down in like photographic history, but to break the record as well was a very special thing for me.
I just think the year we stayed unbeaten, and we were 2-1 down against Liverpool. We lost against Man United in the Cup, we lost against Chelsea after in the Champions League, and then we were 2-1 down, and I could sense that day that the fans, they were hoping that we were not going to blow the title away also. I never felt Highbury like that before. When I scored the goal to make it 3-2, I felt that goal was, you know, just a big relief for everyone. I just feel that game, the 4-2 that we won against Liverpool was some game, because we were in a bad run, and then we were playing some good stuff, some great stuff, and it would have been a bit harsh if we didn't win the league that year. And also I thought, you know, we did deserve to stay unbeaten the whole way, but that day was pretty special.
One of the games that really stands out was in 1988, when Arsenal were at home to Man United, and in about the last minute of the match, Man United had a penalty, and I was one of many people kind of braying and trying to put, I think it was Brian McClare, and he blasted over. I was really happy that day.
Oh, he's missed it! What a mistake! Alec Ferguson, the manager, with his head in his hands. The United fans are stunned, but in the North Bank, it's all celebration in this crowd of over 54,000.